Today's video, 6 Asians versus 1 non-Asian in Odd Man Out.
We brought together 7 Asians, blindfolded.
I'm Asian.
I'm Asian.
I am Asian.
I'm Asian.
I'm Asian.
I'm Asian.
I'm Asian.
I'm Mexican.
One is a liar.
I'll start. No shoes inside the house, plain and simple. I mean, most Asian parents probably have that.
I don't know if this was like specific to Filipinos. They always said like not to sleep with your feet facing the door because the ghosts can take you or something like that.
My grandparents told me the exact same thing, and they were super superstitious. They had all these wild ones like you couldn't leave chopsticks standing up in the rice because that's for the dead only. And the feet thing is considered bad health because you mainly carry out the dead feet first from the bedrooms.
We had it, you don't sleep facing the mirror.
Okay.
Why?
That makes sense.
Can we talk about like things that your non-Asian friends didn't get that you had to do?
They didn't get that I liked Spam.
Oh, I love Spam.
Like, one thing I didn't get, anytime I would spend the night at my non-Asian friend's house, particularly my white friends, I noticed some of them, if they would get into arguments with their parents and they would argue back really hard, and I was thinking to myself, I would never do that with my mom.
When white people call their parents by their first name,
I was just gonna ask
how
that.
can you do that?
If I called my mom and dad their first name, they would have just nah.
Yeah, I'm definitely guilty of yelling at my parents in front of my friends. And I equally feel as bad when I see my friends yell at their parents. But I would never, ever call my parents by the first name. Kim. Okay, alright, wow, Mom.
Oh, where are you
And
from?
what ethnicity are you again?
I'm Japanese.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
The Japanese one, when do you celebrate New Year?
January 1st.
Okay.
I didn't think I would be as nervous as I was, but once they started asking the tougher questions, I kind of was trying to think fast.
Have any of you guys been back to or have been to your native countries?
I've never been to
Never
India.
been?
Really?
Well, for those of you who have been, when was the last time that you went?
I went 2013 because my sister just got married to a white guy.
All the stereotypes that were discussed were definitely valid questions. However, I don't think that's the best way to judge if someone is Asian or not.
I voted for Josh because he was very quiet. I would think that the mole didn't want to reveal himself too much.
A lot of her answers weren't too detailed.
I hate to be stereotypical, but it was the way that he sounded.
How Asian of them to find the answer in the first round.
So Josh, tell me about when there's a disagreement with your parents, how does that usually go?
Oh, dude, honestly, man, it's my parents' way or the highway.
What happens if you really piss them off? When you were younger.
Dude.
Me growing up, I just saw a stark difference between how my Asian friends acted around parents versus my non-Asian friends acted around their parents.
We were pretty Americanized, or I grew up pretty Americanized, so I never really had too much of a disagreement with my parents. I would always kind of just follow their way.
Yo, my sister and I have had screaming matches with my parents. We were just very opinionated and stubborn. And it was always over the same thing. What are you doing with your future? Don't date white girls. Physicist. Be a nurse. But honestly, I think it was for the best because I appreciate and love the fuck out of my parents right now. Everything they did, I knew they did because they just wanted me to have a good life.
Chriselle, when was the last time your mom or your dad told you that they loved you?
I just felt like he was trying to steer the conversation away from him. So just going off of that, I felt like he was definitely the mole.
I'm actually kind of estranged from my parents, but I'm kind of trying to rebuild with my mom. She used to never say that she loved me, but now every time that we do talk, she does because it's kind of complicated.
15 years! It took my parents and I 15 years to say I love you and actually hug each other. It's not because they didn't love me before then. It was because their form of love was to work and provide for the family. It's definitely a white thing to say I love you to someone in broad daylight, especially if you just met them. But that doesn't apply to animals. Oh my God, I love you so much.
And if you guys ever get in a real big conflict, did they ever apologize at all? Or?
No, never.
I mean, my parents.
And
do.
that's partially why I'm kind of estranged from, especially my dad. Like, that's why I'm kind of estranged. My parents are divorced, by the way,
Okay.
which was unheard of. Filipinos are Catholic and they like don't divorce.
I don't want to be racist. In my perception, a lot of like white families go through like divorce, but also she just sounded very like Americanized.
You said that you're third generation, right?
Sorry, no, I'm first generation.
Oh, first generation.
American.
Why
I'm
did
so
I hear
sorry.
someone say third generation?
I said third by
Oh, you
accident.
did? Okay,
I
okay.
said third by accident.
Okay.
I'm first
okay.
generation American.
So your parents immigrated here.
yes, back in 1986 and then 1990.
Okay. And what
And
part
do you have a
of,
girlfriend?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
when he said he was third generation and then he backed up and said, oh no, I'm first generation, that was kind of a red flag to me.
I meant to say third generation Christian because my family was Hindu before. I meant to say first generation American.
After she talked about the relationship with her parents, raised a little doubt in my mind.
The three people that were to my left were giving just such great answers. My boy Josh was just kind of piggybacking off those answers.
And how Asian of them to overthink things.
Raise your hand if you have any doubts and would like to continue the game.
Did you guys ever like talk to your parents about like your mental health growing up?
No,
That wasn't ever part of our
'Cause-
culture.
But I feel like, I mean, yeah, they're very like, what does that even mean? Like therapy?
Yeah.
No. But I feel like, times are changing and like,
I was gonna
if you just talk about it with them, they're always there to understand. But
My parents never believed in ADHD, depression, or therapy. If you wanted to talk, there's God and the priest. The only thing they believed in was Jesus and a magical silver coin that can cure any fever in the middle of the night. Asians, you know what I'm talking about.
Did you ever have the talk, like the birds and the bees talk with
No.
your parents?
Nope.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I had to like figure it out myself. Did your parents let you like date in high school or even like middle school?
No, because it was more of like a you weren't ready type of thing.
my parents were always like, don't date growing up. And then
Same.
now I'm like, okay, I didn't date. And now I'm like single and they're
Yeah.
like,
That's what I'm saying.
go date.
Now my dad's like, yo, where are my grandchildren?
The rule at our house was no dating till after college and no dating white girls. Today, my mom is constantly trying to hook me up with one of her Asian friend's daughter. Thanks, Mom. I'll be okay.
What are your parents' names?
My parents?
Yeah.
My mom's name is actually Spanish, so her name's Leona, but she goes by Ina now, and then my dad's name is Ashish.
My parents have super white names, actually. It's Ellen and Dennis. It's like, what?
So when you said that your parents had white names, did you think that people will get suspicious?
A part of me, yes. And then someone next to me asked, oh, what are their Asian names? And I was like, oh gosh, I don't even know.
And their birth names?
I actually don't. Youngjin, and my mom's is, I'm not really sure.
So just to say that I'm not Asian, I don't have any arm hair if you guys want to feel.
What?
I don't have any arm
I
hair.
mean, I'll
just a-
feel.
Yeah, there you go.
Is that a thing?
I mean, not that.
Yeah, Asians don't really have any arm hair
I don't feel anything.
and no body hair.
A little weird.
Yeah, I mean, like, I had to use stereotypes to defend myself because I wanted to be sure that I was going to win. Let's say they'd never seen my face and they're only talking to me, they would think I'm white. And that was the reason why I was voted off, because I sound too much like a surfer dude. And I grew up in the suburbs of Oregon, so.
But Aaron, he knows he's an anomaly, right? Asians aren't usually that tall and muscular. No wonder you got voted out with your big old Popeye arms.
Raise your hand if you have any doubt and you would like to continue with the game. All right.
I think we got them.
I feel like we got them.
I don't think so.
Who'd you think it was?
Josh, bro, I swear, my man, like,
All right. So if the lights turn green, we voted the mole out. If the lights turn red, the mole is still in the box and leaves. And the lights turn green.
Oh! Oh my gosh, high five because I can't see.
All right, so you can open your blindfolds.
Oh my gosh.
It was Brianna.
We were all like,
Dude, we were right the first
the Asians
time.
were pitted against each other.
I definitely thought she was Japanese. The way she kind of spoke and the way she kind of carried herself.
I just assumed she was a quiet Japanese girl.
Last semester, I did take Japanese class. I could speak like a little bit. I'm not like fluent.
This video really makes me miss my group of Asian friends. Korean barbecue, K-pop, K-drama. Oh, never take your Asian friends for granted. I miss you guys. What are some crazy things you've seen your Asian friends do in front of you? Make sure to leave them in the comments below because it would mean so much if you could give us a like, subscribe, and show us some love. Oh my god!